Welcome to my channel, Crafting with me, Indiana Jones, and welcome to The Last Thing Thrifted, where I get together with my friends Marika, Dawn, Monica, Jody, and Zaina as we create something from The Last Thing Thrifted. Today I have several things I've thrifted and one that even ends up at the ball. Yes, an actual ball. So let's go on this journey and see what I get to thrift today. This first beautiful find I actually got at a church bazaar, and I think I got two of them for $5. And this is metal. I don't know if it's brass, iron, whatever it is. It's absolutely beautiful. And so I decided that I'm going to use just one for this craft, but you might see the sister in another one. I also thrifted these music sheets, these vintage music books actually, and this one I think was Mozart. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to create my own artwork for this beautiful frame. So using some cardboard, and again I'm thrifting from my garbage, of course. And there you have it. I have a background now, and I'm going to use my wonderful IOD designs from none other than Wildeblumen, my favorite collection. And look at how perfect this little bouquet is going to look on that music sheet. And this is and there's little Luna in her little cone. Just so you know, she's much better. The cone is off and the stitches are out, and she's jumping around like a wild kitty cat that she is. Now, if you've never worked with transfers, they're so very simple to use. Here I am just transferring this beautiful Wildeblumen and adding a little butterfly, and I think this is absolutely perfect. Again, I can use this all year long, or it is absolutely beautiful for for spring and summer. My head's in the fall already. And here you have it, the final, and I'm adding that little cardboard that was already there with the original frame. And there you have it. This was a fast, easy, and simple thrift flip, and I just love the way it came out. Now, what am I going to do with the other frame? That's yet to be seen. Let's see what I come up with for the other one. Now, I found this cute little pail at a going out of business sale. It wasn't Joann's, it's another little store, and I just paid $1 for this, believe it or not. And I love galvanized metal, but of course I want to thrift flip this, so I'm going to paint it blue. I don't know what was happening with me and this pail or bucket, whatever you want to call it, but I never seemed to just hit the right mark. The blue was very pretty, but also I just felt it, I don't know, it felt very childlike. So once I finished painting it blue, I decided to distress it with a little bit of sanding. So I just sanded it down. Here I'm still painting the pail, this beautiful blue color. And it is a very pretty blue color, but I did decide to sand it down once the paint was dry. I did let it dry for a few hours, and I just sanded it down, and I kind of liked the rustic feel, but I felt like it still needed something more. So then I decided to dry brush it with some white paint, and that seemed to get it to where I wanted it to be. But then I wanted it to be even more distressed. So I decided to distress it even more by adding some antique wax. And then I thought, okay, now I'm getting closer to what I want this to be. I don't know if I did this in the right order, but this is what I came up with. And I don't know what was happening with me this day, but once I wiped off that antique wax, I felt much better, and but not enough. And then I decided, well, let me add some transfers. And if you worked with transfers and wax, you know that it's not going to be good, people. Let's just put it this way. It's not going to be good. But I share my mistakes with you because, number one, I love you all, and I know that you will be kind to me, but also to let you know, hey, things happen. And sometimes when you're tired and you're crafting and you don't know exactly what you want to do, but you have something in mind and you don't know how to do it, you try things. And if they don't work, well, you learn from it and you move forward and just try again. So here I am trying to make the transfer stick to the antique waxed item. It's not good. It doesn't work. But let me let you see my little struggle so that when you struggle, you realize, hey, it happens to everybody. I'm not saying I'm that great. I'm not. You know I'm not. But at least I try. And I'm not afraid to make a mess. And you learn. As I said, you learn. So let's just stop me struggling and let's rip this off so you can see how badly this did not stick. I didn't give up, however. I got another, I wiped a little more of the wax off and I got another branch or stem or whatever you want to call it. And I tried once again, try. And yeah, I kind of gave up there because the stem didn't adhere too well. And I was just trying anything I could. It was just a mess. But eventually I did get to add, I was so frustrated. I did get to add a beautiful little butterfly, and that made all the difference in the world. And I really like the way this little pail turned out after all. Now, once I got the butterfly adhered, then I decided to distress it a little bit, add a little bit of that, dry painting, dry paint, whatever you want to call it, and dry brushing, just to make it sure that it matched the rest of the flowers that were on the little pail already. Now, I'm just going to add some styrofoam, which I had around the house. All that packaging that you get, try to use it for these kind of projects. And I'm using some moss. I didn't use moss this much this year, as much I should say this year. And there is little Kudu here to give her a little inspection. First of all, thinking that that was catnip and realizing that it was just plain old moss. And then I'm going to add my greenery. I have these deep burgundy flowers. It's so funny because I was like, okay, I'm going to try not to make this red, white, and blue, but I ended up making it red, white, and blue because I had those burgundy flowers. I had these dusty blue roses, and then I added those creamy white daisies. And I kind of like it because it is for summertime after all. And now I can leave that with my patriotic red, white, and blue items that I created for Memorial Day. So here it is, and I think it's adorable, and I really, really like the way it turned out. I hope you like it too. Once again, my black cat is here for a Halloween themed project. Now, please forgive me. I know many of you were not too happy with some Halloween projects that I did last week, but please realize that the sooner I get Halloween done, I can enjoy doing my Halloween crafting in the summertime so that during the fall I can do my Christmas crafting for the Deering estate. I have these beautiful masquerade masks that were left over from the Mayors Ball. The Mayors Ball this year that the mayor hosts on behalf of United Way, the theme was masquerade, and they had all these lovely little masks, and I decided that they would be perfect for a banner. And I've seen a lot of these bow ribbon banners that were created, and I decided to create a Halloween themed bow banner. Is it called a bow banner, or I don't know what it's called? Garland? I guess it's a bow garland. And I had these wonderful ribbons in my stash, the black and white with this orange and black harlequin styled, and I thought this would be so pretty, and I thought it would be so nice to string them together, but with the little masks in between, little masquerade masks. Now the masquerade masks were gold and black and gold and purple. I didn't necessarily like the purple, and I didn't like the feathers, so you saw earlier I took the feathers off because I wanted to make this more vintagey. So I went outside and I spray painted them black and orange, and now I'm just adding a few little designs. They did have glitter on them, so I tried to sand off most of the glitter, but you could still see a little bit of the design. So to kind of camouflage that, I decided to paint them with my own designs. To really make this into something very retro, very vintagey, since like the 1920s, since they've been, celebrating Halloween with masquerade balls and stuff, I thought this was a perfect little theme. So as I continue painting each one of these masks, and they don't have to be perfect, now I have to figure out how to string them all along. Now you can use chenille stems, but I actually had some chenille garland, mini chenille garland that was from graduation caps from last year. So this year, when graduation is done and people are getting rid of all those kind of garlandy kind of materials that have graduation caps and things like that, take that black garland, or whatever you want to call it. And I've bought them last year at 90% off and at Hobby Lobby, and that's what I use to decorate many things for Halloween. So there you can see that I am stringing the bows together with the masks using that garland in between. Now I could have just added the bows one against the other, but I kind of like the idea of the masks. Originally I thought I would put the masks in the middle of the bows, but it kind of looked a little wonky, so I'm going to try this out. And I think it looked really nice in the end, so I will showcase that later. Now, speaking of balls, during the Joann's fabric store closures, I bought this fabric at 90% off. And then because I bought the entire bolt of fabric, I got it at another 50% off. So I think that's considered thrifty. It's much less expensive than anything I would find in a thrift store. Here we have Luna checking out how I am going to cut out this skirt. Now this is a beautiful, I think it's an organza. It's this beautiful deep green. It has a bit of shimmer to it. And as you can see, it's like leaves with these light white flowers. And I'm sorry I'm blocking the light, but I'm trying to create a circle skirt. And the way you create a circle skirt is, as you see here, I measured from my waist to the bottom of my feet, so you can see how I am measuring and trying to round out the skirt itself. And this is how you do it. Once you do that, you have to fold in a certain way, and I don't know if you want to go through all that with me here, but I'm just showing you how I actually made my ball gown for the Mayors Ball. And it took a while because I don't have a big space to really cut out fabric. I also didn't have a pattern per se, but I did have a shortcut. What happened was I found this one little short dress at Target for only $10, and it happened to be the same exact color and tone of the fabric that I had. So I used the top of this dress it was a mini dress. It had a corset. So what I decided to do was dress up the corset to match the skirt. Now I did some pleating and at the front of the bust, and then I added this beautiful gold lace as you see here that I'm adding. I'm also adding sleeves. In this step I'm just adding sleeves just because I like my arms a little more covered. And to the lace itself, I also added some rhinestones to really make it sparkle in the evening light. And I just think it added so much. The theme again was a Venetian masquerade, so I thought this was perfect. But not only did I make the dress, I also made the accessories that go along with it. Now, people at work, they know me as being a little extra, so to be a little extra, I decided to make myself a crown. And I have to apologize to you all because I thought I was filming and it turns out I wasn't. And when I was adding some additional spikes, I guess, to the crown or what crowny things, whatever you want to call them, that's when I realized that the video wasn't filming. So here I was preparing to add some more. And all I am using is I have 2 headbands that I have bound together with some ribbon at the bottom so that they don't, and these are the metal, like they're goldish kind of metal headbands. And all I did was add, here you can see the full thing. I added some embellishments with some pearls that I had, and those are the edges that I added together with the two headbands. And it took a while, and I am so mad at myself, but you can see the pearls, you can see the beautiful little leaves that I had gotten. Those little leaves are from the Dollar Tree. What am I kidding? That's from Hobby Lobby. Those wonderful rhinestone leaves, those are from Hobby Lobby. You can find them in the bridal section. And again, I had so much fun creating this, and that's why I didn't notice after hours of working on this. I hadn't noticed, but there I am showing you how you create these little branches with the little leaves, and you just add them to your crown however you would like to. Now here you'll see that I'm going to add another little branch. This is basically what you need to do, is you add the branch to the headband, and because it's a heavier gauge wire, it will stay in its place. And I just used, there you go. This is what I did. I created the little branches first, and with each of the leaves, and then added them on. I also had wired onto the headband itself the pearls together with those leafy type of I guess our marquee is the cut for that kind of rhinestone, and I just added them one by one and wiring it around the headband itself. I apologize again that I don't have the full process, but you can make out pretty much how easy it is. Again, it's just, spacing out what you want on your crown and adding them one by one. As you can see here, I'm adding just a few little more rhinestones here and there wherever I feel that it's needed. So because this is a masquerade, I was able to find this mask at a church bazaar. Actually, I think I got it for like 50 cents. It was ridiculous. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's beautiful. I love this black mask. But then I had my lace left over from my dress, and I just had to make a beautiful lacy concoction. Not only that, I had some of this left over from the ones that I had created for my dress. So the ones with the rhinestones there. Later on, I did decide to take off the rhinestones from that part of the lace on my mask, simply because it was a bit distracting, just as my cat Guru can be very distracting to me. And she's sitting right there in the middle of my craft space. Now, the best thing I could use was this stiffy Mod Podge, because it really did stiffen up the mask to be able to wear it. Now, I also reinforced it with some of that gold wire that you saw that I used on the crown. And also, it came in very handy together with the crown. You'll see in a moment. So now that black plastic mask was going to become the model, or the base for my gold lace mask. As you can see here, I was gathering all the pieces together and trying to fit them onto the mask. And because I already had Mod Podged them with the stiffy, I could also shape them into place. I covered the rhinestones simply because I didn't want glue to get all over them. And here, there you can see the middle part that was kind of distracting. Later on, when I put the mask all together, those rhinestones in the middle was very, very distracting. It made me look more like an alien. So I did remove those rhinestones. But since I had leftover rhinestones from the crown, I did add that to the mask. Now here you can see how I am adding wire to the mask to reinforce that. But not only that, I've wired the mask to the headband. So it was not uncomfortable to wear at all, because it was hanging off the headband, not tied around my head, not with an elastic, nothing. And what was great about it is that if I wanted to remove the mask, I had just to move it up, and it actually looked like part of the crown because it was all glistening gold and rhinestoney and sparkly. This was so much fun to make, and when I went to the party, everybody was like, oh my gosh, you should have made a bunch of, we would have bought some, and I would have bought some. These are so, your crown is so beautiful. See how sparkly it is? I loved it. But let's see how it looked at the ball itself. Thanks again to my co-host Marika of Marika Creates, Dawn of Shabby Meets Bling, Monica of Up All Night DIY, Jody at Southern Seasons, and Zaina of OK at Home DIY for joining me in this last thing thrifted. Please remember to check their channels for all of these wonderful ideas they want to share with you. And thanks to you for stopping by. And if you enjoyed this, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. But importantly, stay safe, be kind. God bless each and every one of you. And remember to live the adventure. And I will see you again very, very soon.